Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. Okay, Patricio Pitbull is set to take on Dan Ige in his second UFC fight. Since Dan Ige has been in the UFC for a while, I'm going to start with him first. His MMA record is 19-9. It's funny, I remember his, but I don't remember Patricio's. He's got 12 finishes out of 19 victories, and all 9 losses are by decision. He's an exciting fighter. He's got heavy hands. He does have good takedown abilities. He's got a lot of heart. I've seen that man get hit a lot, and I watched his fights with Josh Emmett, Diego Lopez, Calvin Kattar, other top quality fighters in the UFC. And he either loses by decision or he's likely to put somebody out, beat them. And then I look at Patricio Pitbull, and I didn't really have to study him. I've watched him for a long time. I remember the days when he knocked out Michael Chandler and when he won the Bellator Championship several times. And I also covered his fight, the first fight and second fights that he had with A.J. McKee, when McKee beat him by submission in that first round real early because Patricio was overly aggressive and ended up costing himself the fight. And then when I noticed in that rematch, he was very calculated. He was patient. He was really good with his striking. He was able to utilize grappling, and he was really smart and was able to get a decision victory to get back the Bellator title. I have noticed in several fights that he's lost, he's been overly aggressive, and he hurts himself that way. But he does have 24 finishes, 12 knockout, 12 submissions in all of his wins. I think he had 12 decision wins too. So for me, I did go into the fact that usually if it's Bellator versus UFC, usually UFC wins. However, I looked at Dan Ige. I had to look at more than just his Diego Lopez fight. I mean, again, I looked at his Emmett fights. I looked at his Kattar fights. I looked at the Lopez fight. I looked at fights he did win. And I saw a common theme out of him. He does have good haymaker punches. He hits hard in general. But a lot of the time he's swinging. He leaves himself extended. And if he doesn't land those or doesn't put the other guy out, the other guy's able to hit him with the jab, the leg kicks, and try to take him down, eventually take him down, and just control the fight over him. Or he'll get outstruck by a guy when he's overextending, excuse me, and he gets hit a lot. So that's a red flag for me. And then I said the same thing about Patricio. I have seen Patricio, again, I have seen him rarely, but he has won fights by completely relying on composure, not being overly aggressive, most notably the McKee fight, who beat him in the first time. And then he was able to gather himself. He was composed. He was calm. He was collected. He ended up winning a decision, and it was a world title fight. So, given that Patricio has shown me that, and I haven't exactly seen a lot of that out of Dan Ige. And again, I'm not saying Dan Ige can't finish him. He's been finished several times in his career too. I'm going to go with Patricio Pitbull. I see Dan Ige swinging big and a lot early, often big shots, extending himself, overextending, And it's hard to talk about it like MMA Guru does or other professional fighters or famous people because I'm not an expert on this stuff. I just give my opinion. But I see Patricio picking him apart with leg kicks. He does have good hands of his own. He's been known to be calculated in some fights, and in those fights, he fights almost a perfect fight. So I'm going to go with Patricio Pitbull. I don't think Dan Ige gets finished. Again, he hasn't been finished in 9 losses. I'm looking at probably his 10th loss. I don't think he'll get finished here either. So give me Patricio Pitbull. Outstriking Dan Ige. He avoids getting hit with all the big shots. I do see him getting rocked a time or two here in this fight, and it'll be entertaining. But I do see Patricio, for the most part, avoiding those shots and getting his first victory in the UFC. Give me Patricio Pitbull by unanimous decision.